So I wanted to talk about gastritis and a prolonged flare-up. Now, usually flare-ups for me, they last like a couple hours and then they go away. But I got sick around, I think, January. My amygdalas, and so I took antibiotics, and I was taking antibiotics, and then like an hour before, like half an hour, I would take omeprazole. But those antibiotics kicked my butt. My body just could not handle it. On the third day, it was only 3 day, like three doses of antibiotics. On the third one, my body just couldn't take it, and I had forgotten how painful it was. Like, I had to walk around my bedroom and out in the living room, and had to breathe and like deeply, like if like when like you see like videos when women are about to give birth and they have to like go like that. It was the most painful experience. I could feel it, and I would take milanta. I took tea. Nothing. Yeah, I have ducks and geese. Sorry about that. Anyways, nothing would get rid of it, and so it was. I I like, the thing is, we're in a panoramic, so it wasn't like I could go to the hospital. But I was so close to being like, I need to go to the ER. Like, that's how painful it was. Like, I hate the hospitals. I hate going to hospitals, but I was like, I need to, man. I can't deal with it, and so I also felt like, throwing up, but I had this like very deep rooted fear of throwing up, like a little trauma about it. And my dad was like, look, it's something that your body is going to do. It's a good thing that you throw up because your body is expelling something that's not good for you. I know you're going to hate it, but afterwards you're going to feel so much better. So don't think about it, and just, so I was like, okay, fine, you know what? Let's just don't think about it. So I sat on the bathroom floor for 2 hours, and my dad was just like, you're okay. Like, I didn't throw up. I just like dry heaved. And then finally, like hours, like maybe 2 hours later, everything just calmed down. And I was like, oh, thank God. But I couldn't eat because obviously I was very like, I don't want to upset it, because obviously my gastritis was very awake and very pissed off. And that night, I would again dry heave, nothing, and I couldn't sleep, so I had to put up like a bunch of pillows to like sleep like in this position. And I tried, like, I would take Milant, all these things, and I was like, I need to go to the doctor. It's not going away. It's been more than a day. I need to go to the doctor. And so my mom asked for a doctor, like someone that she knows, like recommended. And like, oh, I had the perfect doctor. He's like super good at this. So I was like, okay, this is great. Like, a doctor that knows his, like, it was a throat doctor. So I was like, okay, good. So he can check my amygdalas, because I was taking medication for amygdalas, like not antibiotics anymore, no, but like spray and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, maybe he can tell me what's going on. He can see what's happening, and kind of like go from there. And I get there, and I look around, and I'm getting some flashbacks, because when I was really sick, when I went to 7 doctors sick, I went to 3 or 2, no, 2 who are homeopathic. And I was looking around, and the office kind of looked similar to them. They had IVs, and then I was like, is this a homeopathic doctor? And my mom was like, I don't think so. Yep, he has like a degree. He's a doctor, and he also is, mixes homeopathic. So I tried to not let that like make me like, I tried to keep my hopes up and be like, you know what, let's just go with it. And so he basically was like, your amygdala look fine. I was having issues with, basically my amygdalas, I was having issues with swallowing, and I had a lot of like tonsil stones, and yeah, I could only like swallow liquids. So yeah. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna send you a bunch of stuff. And I was like, okay, fine, okay. And so he sent me something for my hígado, I think is liver. He sent me probiotics because he's like the antibiotics completely destroy your floral, intestinal floral, because obviously they're like, so you need to have probiotics. So I did a week of probiotics, and then I would take Guy's Med, which is like kind of like a liquid that's kind of like similar to Milanta, and I would take it in the morning and at night. And I also am taking gastrocinicine, which is basically a thing that you would put under your tongue like before you eat, so it's supposed to like keep everything calm. And so I did that. I started in January, and it's a 3-month process, right? And I started learning how to kind of like work around my gastritis, because since it activated it was just like, I already eat very clean. Like, I don't eat cow milk. I don't eat greasy food, especially after I got my gallbladder taken out. I still continue the same diet. I eat a lot of vegetables. I try to eat the differences, like mix it up between like pasta, salmon, chicken. I don't have like any sodas. I don't eat fried food. So like, I am very like clean in that aspect. And so I was like trying to like keep that going, and try to eat more, obviously small portions, but eat more, so my stomach wasn't like empty. And I was noticing, because I would go to sleep really late at night, like at 3 in the morning, and because I usually had dinner at like 8 or 7, the prolonged time without food and then going to sleep, my gastritis was starting to wake up. Because obviously if you're asleep, your body's asleep, so your stomach knows it's asleep, so you're not getting gastritis. But if you're awake, until that time, your stomach starts working, because it's like, dude, I'm awake, what's going on, why, like, what's happening? So I could feel the acid reflux in my throat. I wouldn't feel it going up, I would just feel it here, and it felt burning hot. And so I would just take Milanta, and I sleep, my bed is like this, it has like wooden frames underneath it, and I sleep with 2 pillows on top, so like my body's kind of like this. So sleeping earlier does help, because obviously like my gastritis is like asleep, but it was getting to a point where like my throat, I could see like little like not stones, but like my skin, like on the inside of my throat, was getting tender, because obviously acid reflux damages things on the inside, because it's acid reflux. So I was really worried about that, and I try not to pay attention to my amygdalas, because I know that they're fine, I know they're okay, but sometimes I get like very like obsessive, so I try to ignore it. But I looked it up, and they're like, that's it, and they basically appear when there's like it's like when you take really hot things, or when you have gastritis, or when you have like something like that, they appear. So I'm like, okay, it explains why I have them, because I've been getting intense gastritis at night. And they had sent me, like I said, Iatox, and I'd been taking it for like, and I guess now it's been like 2 months, but I stopped taking it since last week, which is unfortunate, because I just bought 2 new ones. But my dad was like, maybe your body is already getting better, and you taking that is making you like, because he talked about it, he explained it to me, he was like alkaline and all these things, so he was like, basically like, maybe you taking that is disembalancing like putting more than necessary. And so because when I would take that, I would get like gastritis, like I would get like it's kind of like I would get heartburn, or like it would burn, like it would feel like I had like it's kind of like a fever, but it's really hot and it burns. And so he's like, just try to go like 2 days or 3 days without taking because they're just drops that you put in water, and you just drink the water, and that's it. And it was like 3 times a day. And so I stopped having those symptoms, and then I took it one day, just once, and I still had symptoms that night. But sometimes they still appear at night, so I'm just trying to be like very aware of things. And since we are in a panoramic, I just can't go get an endoscopy and stuff like that. And I personally don't want to take pills. I don't want to take antibiotics anymore. I don't want to do that. So I just kind of like I guess be very aware of what I eat, and if it doesn't sit well, I just take Milanta. And I mean, one time I took Milanta, and I took it's this like natural like recipe that has like aloe vera, it has oatmeal, it has oyuko, it has a bunch of stuff. In both of those things that I took, did nothing. The gastritis was still there, and I was like, why won't you leave me? And it has, and I had to like really mentally like kind of be very not positive, because I feel like if you're too positive, your mind just goes like, but very like, this isn't like the last time. This is a different time. Because it, and I let myself have that moment of like weakness, because I truly felt really bad and really down, because I was like, really, I'm sick and it's gastritis, and it's just like it's very overwhelming. Get like eating well and eating things that you know you're used to, and still getting gastritis, and it's like, what the heck. And so yeah, now it's gotten better, and I always remind myself, being like, you do feel better, you are better. And sometimes, like right now, I have like my esophagus is tender. It could be simply because of the salt, like, because when I eat like lettuce, I put like salsa on it, like Italian dressing, and maybe I put too much, and maybe that made it flare up. Maybe I ate too quickly. So because I tend to eat, I take a while to eat. It takes me like an hour to eat, or sometimes. Um, so I try to be aware but not hyper aware, and I have like a log on my phone of what I eat every day. Uh, it usually helps me to not like repeat food very quick, like very often. Um, like let's say yesterday I had pancakes, like banana pancakes. So today I won't have banana pancakes. I had oatmeal, and so, stuff like that. And I do that with all foods, like lunch, dinner, breakfast. And I also write, did I take the drops? Did I have guy's med? Stuff like that. Or I also write like symptoms that are like out of the ordinary. Like, okay, I had heartburn this time, or I had extreme like pain or something like that. It's just to like, I feel like if when the panoramic stops, and in the future I have this like log of things and symptoms that I could be like, this is what happened. Is this, just, I don't know. It's strange, because sometimes I feel like some doctors just don't care and just want you to like give you medicine or just like money, and then they don't really care. So it's kind of like, I'm not talking about the doctor right now. I'm just talking doctors in general. I've had a lot of doctors and a lot of experiences. So that's why I try very hard to be trustworthy with doctors, but sometimes you have like these other experiences that kind of overcloud it. But yeah, so right now I'm just I feel like I'm doing good. Also, I've been working out for 2 months every day. Either we do, like my dad and I walk. Either we walk every day, or we take a 2-day like break and during the week. But other than that, we've been doing it like all the time, and I feel like that's really helped me as well. But yeah, like right now, I feel like a little, like it feels like a hollow thing in my esophagus, and it could be for a number of things, and maybe it'll leave in like an hour or two or something. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like the human body is weird and strange, and yeah. But you know, there's not much I can say about this health update. It's just like how to deal with it is taking it day by day, accepting that there's going to be a moment where you are going to fall on your face, because you're going to be so tired and mentally exhausted that you're probably going to cry. You're probably going to be like, why am I still sick? Because I would feel like this is so unfair. Like, I take care of myself, like, and I let myself have those moments, but also knowing that it's not going to be like this forever. It's going to change. It's going to get better. And I also want to put it the fact that, we are in a panoramic. I am in quarantine. And so emotionally, that's a lot to handle, and your body sometimes responds on behalf of that. And so, yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, when I ever go, back to doctor, like, physically present to like face to face, I would be like, I don't want antibiotics. I don't want pills. Like, because last time I had this, my doctor sent me like these little liquid sachets. I remember what they're called, but you basically have them. I think it's after eating, and it's like it cools your insides. And honestly, I would prefer that. I should, like, if it ever happens again, I feel like I should just buy those little packets and just have them. But yeah, that is why also I'm a little bit like taking a long time to try new foods. Like I got surgery like a year ago, like in February 16th of last year. Um, and my surgeon was like, after you take the necessary like months of like slowly transitioning foods, you can eat like whatever you want. But I still have like that trauma in the back of my head of like food, and so I'm taking it very very slow, but to me it feels way better. And especially right now that we're in a panoramic, I'm not going to try food and then it sits horribly with me, and then I can't go to the hospital because the hospitals are packed, and I don't want to get, you know what. So yeah, time and place, and the time and place isn't yet here, but I have been eating more things. So like before, I would just have oatmeal for breakfast, and now I have banana pancakes. They're really yummy, and they don't have eggs in them. And I've been having yogurt with cereal and banana. So like breakfast is like I change it, and it's exciting. And I also then have a snack at 11:30, which is either like oatmeal or like it's usually breakfast food. So I eat at 8 and then 11:30, and then I had lunch at like 2 or 3 depending, and then I have a snack around like 5 or 6. um I mean, obviously when I have lunch at like 3 or later, I tend to not have a snack because then it like there's not enough time in between. But then I have dinner at like 8 o'clock, and then yeah, I eat like 5 times in a day. 5 to 4 times in a day, and it's really worked well for me. I stopped. I used to have like I used to have cereal at midnight. I stopped doing that because I think I made my stomach get used to having food at midnight, and I think that's also why I would get gastritis because my stomach was like, "Where's the cereal?" But I stopped it, and I just need to get back to going to sleep at least the latest 1:30. But sometimes I like without noticing it, I go to sleep at like 3 or 2, and I'm like, oh my god. So yeah. Sorry, this went really long. This is a very long video, but I just felt like the need to just like get it all out and talk about it. And if you're going through gastritis, uh, I'm there for you. I understand. Believe me, I've had gastritis since I was like a kid, probably like 13. I was diagnosed with acute gastritis, and then when I had my before surgery, when I had that whole year and a half being sick, I got diagnosed chronic gastritis, like activated chronic gastritis, and now I think I don't have it. I think I probably went back to acute gastritis because I haven't had any gastritis until I took those antibiotics, and it messed up all my insides of like my floral stomach, intestine, whatever it's called. So yeah, um, that's all I've got. um, and yeah. Also, if you are like just starting with your gastritis, I would highly recommend. I mean, obviously we're in a panoramic, but everyone is different depending on the country. Some countries are doing fine. Mine isn't. Uh, if you start feeling gastritis, go to your doctor, but also get an endoscopy so they can like rule out. It's called a H. pylori. In Spanish, it's called a algo pyloral. It's basically this. I don't know how to explain it, but it can cause like a lot of damage because it's like you, and it messes up your insides. Like it just, they have to take medication to like kill it. Um, I know someone who went with it like undiagnosed for like a while, like years, and then it like she died. Don't want to scare you because obviously sorry, anyways, I don't want to scare you because I'm talking about this was like years, not like days or months, like years. Because a lot of people don't have access to medical stuff or are scared, so don't be scared. It's super easy to get an endoscopy. Like I've done it before. I've gotten like 3 something more. I think I've gotten like more than that, but it's super easy, and it's better that you get that out, like get that cleared off your chart, and then you can focus on like what type of gastritis you have and what to do for your body, as in like what doesn't sit well with you. I would also take like what I did on my phone, which is like I took like on the notes app, I write what I eat and I'm like, did it sit well with me? Good. Did it not? Okay. So then you try it again, and it's kind of like just testing out your body. Basically you're your own science experiment. So those are like my two little recommendations. And yeah, I would look up also probiotics. I personally prefer drinking the probiotics than taking pills. So but I haven't done anything probiotic related right now because again we're in a panoramic. I'm not gonna be outside looking for for probiotics. But sorry, I can't. So yeah, I'm gonna end this here. Bye.